Hello, welcome to another episode of This, That, and the Other. And I came across this thing on Facebook, as a matter of fact, about 20 advertising mascots that became American legends. And I'm going to discuss them each one by one. I'm not going to show you the pictures of them. I'm sure most of you have already seen them. I mean, a lot of these have been around since, well, before I was even around. I've seen them all my life on products. First thing came out in 1914, the Morton Salt Girl. And here's a little backstories on each one of them. The little girl with the umbrella was created to show the idea that Morton salt could still pour evenly, even in damp weather. Her rainy day image became one of the most recognizable branding symbols in American history. And the appearance of the girl has changed a few times over the years. Next one, you got Mr. Peanut. Came out in 1916 for Planters. It was a drawing submitted by a 14-year-old boy in a brand contest. Commercial artists later added the top hat, cane, and monocle, giving it an unforgettable gentleman's style. So they're showing Mr. Peanut with a bow tie also, and with a cane. Jolly Green Giant came out in 1928. It was saying that it didn't always look friendly. Earlier versions had a more serious looking. They softened the look to create a cheerful figure watching over a valley of vegetables. The characters Snap, Crackle, and Pop from Rice Krispies came out in 1933. They were supposed to be the sounds that are made when milk is poured into a bowl of Rice Krispie cereal. It became one of the most memorable cereal campaigns ever created. Smokey the Bear came out in 1944, created in the 1940s, part of the National Forest Prevention message. Over time, he became one of the most recognizable public servants. Tony the Tiger, 1952, for Frosted Flakes. He had to win his place. He competed against other animal characters before becoming the face of Frosted Flakes. His booming voice and confident personality made the cereal legend. The Kool-Aid Man came out in 1954. Before he became a big figure bursting through a wall as a party guest, he started out as a smiling pitcher. Over decades, it became an bigger animated character. The M&M Spokes Candies came out in 1954. They were created to give personality to the candy's famous message that it melts in your mouth, not in your hands. Red and Yellow became one of the advertising's best-known comedy duos. And I discussed M&Ms before, how they came about. It was during wartime in the hot places where wars were going on in other countries, and how if you put a chocolate bar in if a soldier put a chocolate bar in their pocket, it would have melted. The M&Ms help preserve the chocolate. But you know what? I've put a bag of M&Ms in my pocket before, and they can soften up and also melt. So, I don't find it to be completely true on what they say melts in your mouth, not in your hands. You leave in your hands out in the hot sun, 100-degree weather, it's probably going to melt in your hands. It's going to break, that coating is going to break, and then this chocolate's going to leak onto your hands. Mr. Clean came out in 1958. He was inspired by a strong, dependable sailor With rolled sleeves, confident look, and clean white shirt, he made house cleaning more simple. The Trix Rabbit came out in 1959. For 60 years, viewers watched him try to cleverly disguise and create plans, only to be reminded that tricks were for kids. Ronald McDonald came out in 1963, first portrayed by Willard Scott. He was a Washington, D.C. weatherman later on. Wanted to give the restaurant a playful image. Captain Crunch also came out in 1963. Full name was Horatio Magellan Crunch. Did not know that. His naval uniform, bright mustache, and sweet crunchy cereal made him impossible to forget. Toucan Sam also came out in 1963. Became famous for following his nose to fruity flavors. Colorful beak originally reflected the cereal's early flavor colors, helping him become a very well-known mascot. Lucky Leprechaun for Lucky Charms came out in 1964. Kids were always after his Lucky Charms. Pillsbury Doughboy, that's a lovable character. Came out in 1965. Also known as Poppin' Fresh. It was originally brought to life through careful stop-motion animation. I remember his giggle when somebody would poke him in the belly at the end of the commercial. Grimace from McDonald's. A very different kind of character in early McDonald's advertising, later redesigned to the general lovable purple friend many people remember from childhood commercials and restaurant visits. I don't remember him as much. I have seen pictures. All right, Chester Cheetah. Okay, yeah, that cheetah on the Cheetos came out in 1986. His sunglasses, smooth moves, and a bold personality. He helped sell Cheetos. The Energizer Bunny, of course, that pink bunny, came out in 1989. Tiny drum, sunglasses, endless energy. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. He keeps going and going and going. Okay, the Geico Gecko came out in 1999. And yes, I remember when it came out, and I remember living in Okinawa, and back around 1972, a Geico business opened up over there, and I had never heard of Geico, but I saw that name on the building, and it looked like Gecko, and Okinawa had geckos all over the place. I mean, they were in people's houses, on the houses, all over the place, and he was known for his calm, polite voice and personality and humor. The Aflac Duck, yeah, that came out in 2000, created from a simple idea. They wanted something that sounded almost like a duck's quack. Most memorable voice helped millions of people remember the brand name, Aflac. And that's 20 various mascots that became American legends, and that was kind of an interesting story on them. And I remember them all. The Grimace character, not so much. But anyway, looking for ideas on shows to do in the future. As always, like, subscribe, share, and thanks for watching.